Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, the Jets 2024 season has officially kicked off. They lost 32-19 to the Niners in a tough start to the season. We're going to get into everything. We saw Aaron Rodgers throw a beautiful touchdown. We saw some horrendous run defense, some weird offensive things going on, some not the greatest start to the season. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I think the reason we always try to be the voice of reason, give our opinion, but also speak the truth.
Yeah.
And the sky is not falling, and
Right.
it's not as simple as, oh, we got to knock off some rust. The answer, as always, is in between the middle. Now, the clear negatives of yesterday, you didn't generate a pass rush and you could not stop the run. And that latter problem is a ripple effect across your offense, not touching the ball, seeing the offense develop together. The fact that Aaron Rodgers has played 225 NFL games and last night was the lowest time of possession he's ever had, that is like a gut punch. Because we wait 500 plus days, you had the tweet, of wanting to watch him play football. And yeah, we got to see it. And it was pretty cool. And we'll get into it, the nerves that we had early on.
Oh.
But God damn it, I wanted him to have the ball more. And we'll dissect the defense. But a lot of the Jets beat writers, and most of them, are blaming, like a vanilla offense and Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett might be on like number 22 on the list of problems from last night's game. It was primarily, Mike, on the defense.
The overarching theme of the whole game, by far, it all comes back to this. You just said it, is the time of possession, and the defense just could not get off the field. And it's very sad because in last year, in 2023, there were so many times where the defense picked up the offense, and the offense had a million chances and just couldn't score. And the Jets would lose, and they couldn't sustain drives, but it wasn't because they didn't have opportunities. It was because they could not sustain the drives themselves. Yesterday's game, there were two cases of that where the Jets, in the first drive, Lazard dropped the ball on third down, and then he had a good game. And then Brees fumbled on the first play of the next possession. So that's like 2 of your 6 possessions right there are gone. And then you go out and you watch the 49ers run 80 plays. Can't get off the field, can't get off the field, can't get off the field. So again, all last season, defense picks up the offense. You figure this season, if the defense does anything similar, the offense will reciprocate. But we just haven't seen the whole unit gel. And it's one game. And it also brings to mind, Matt, people are like, why didn't they use Braylon Allen? Why didn't you see Corley? Why didn't you see this? Why didn't you see that? You just weren't on the field.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. And
that's all it is.
And like, you can make the argument, and now you brought up 2023 and 2022, the Jets defense bailed out the offense how many times? Even last night on the first possession, you force a 3 and out. Second possession, you get a horrible field. You only give up 3.
Yeah.
You can look back on it and say the Jets defense might have deserved an off night. But my argument is it the same defense as 2023 and 2022? The personnel is pretty similar, but those small pieces up front, right? Is it enough? And clearly last night it wasn't. And it was a litmus test. I kept saying it all before the game started. And even we talked about the run defense all off season. The litmus test is, can you compete against a top 3 team? You either left this game in a small sample size being a Super Bowl contender, a playoff contender, or a nobody. And for a full quarter, the Jets were a playoff caliber team last night. They put together a great drive and 2 good defensive drives. The other 75% of the game, they weren't competitive, and they weren't in that same league as the 49ers. And will they be able to build chemistry? They definitely can. But, Mike, I was afraid that last night we were going to lose because the offense didn't gel. There'd be chemistry issues, and the defense would do their best to save it. Complete 180.
Yeah. No, the offense was good. I was confident when the offense was on the field. We already talked about it. 2 of the drives were complete nonsense or very fixable mistakes. There were not a lot of penalties. Rodgers looked good. He was controlling the line of scrimmage, throwing rockets, threw some beautiful balls. A couple of the passes to Lazard were awesome. The drive with Garrett. But I agree, Matt. The defense, it's frustrating because it's our biggest fear being realized is that can we not stop the run and are we going to die? You said yesterday when you were at my house, death by a million cuts, and just dink and dunk and dink and dunk. It reminds you of the Cowboys game last year, week 2, where the Cowboys just kept the Jets. And Robbie Sabo's been tweeting about this a lot. We are sponsored by Jets X Factor. Robbie's
Don't
the man.
forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 2K.
That's right. But Robbie said it yesterday too, where, Jesus Christ, sorry, I'm scatterbrained. I'm actually doing a COVID test right now, even though you were at my house yesterday.
Do you have a live? Do you have a live?
I have a live.
update?
It's processing. It's one of these weird like card ones. It's not the. It's a different kind of test, but it is processing the results right now. I'm getting nervous.
Is it like a fucking app? Like, what do you mean? It's
No, like
telling you
this. I
processing?
can't move it. It's like this thing. It's processing. You have to wait a second before you do it. It's like on a card.
I've never seen that.
But
Okay, go ahead.
Death by million cuts.
Robbie Sabo.
Robbie said the 49ers were one step ahead of the Jets all night, where even though it seemed like the Niners were running the ball down the Jets' throat, which they were, anytime the Jets finally would get a beat on it and like a first down and maybe send a blitz or expect the run, then they would pull out a play action pass. Then they would pull out, oh, here's a quick pass and get 7, and then run it again and get 7. And it was just very frustrating, to watch your team let the other team score on 8 straight drives, which I don't remember seeing. So that's the scary thing too with the coaching matchups. If Saleh goes up against a superior coach, is going to cause difficulty. That was one of the negatives too that I was thinking about yesterday.
Yeah, and it's a good point. And it's weird. I want to argue, can Saleh compete against those level of coaches? And interestingly enough, some of his better games in his career have been against really, teams that, the Titans in 2021. The Titans were a 1 seed the previous year, or maybe that year, whatever had happened.
Yeah, Vrabel's terrific.
And he's somehow brought them to a different level. And Mike, I would feel a lot worse today if our next 3 were against the Chiefs, Ravens, and Lions.
Yeah.
The fact that the next 3 is very gettable, it gives me a little bit of relief going out of that game. But Mike, if I would have told you before the game, through 18 minutes of possession, Aaron Rodgers has a 75% adjusted completion percentage, throws a touchdown that has 170. You're going to come back to me and say, I can't wait for the next 12 minutes on average of what he's going to do. Right. And he literally didn't have any more time than that 18. That is why I don't even want to call it.
It's just like a tease. It just wasn't, we didn't get to see the full thing.
But people are, and I'm fine with like the meme accounts tweeting like, oh, Zach Wilson and Rodgers had the same stat line. And I'm fine with like meme accounts can do that. I'd probably make a joke if it was a different team. But like an ESPN main account tweeting that, and then the Jets beat writers actually believing that the Jets offense was limited last night. Was it perfect? By no means. Did I want Hackett to throw more intermediate passes on first and second down? Definitely. But you could see their plan was to knock the rust off, get the run game going. And look, they took a shot on a first down to Garrett, and he got bumped off the route. And I just want to see more of it. But by no means is the offense, did I leave that game feeling like we can't put up 30 whenever we wanted to. I really believe that, Mike. And
no, man, I believe it too. We did not have the ball. How did people not understand this? I don't understand. I actually had to text Connor Hughes last night, and he didn't do anything beforehand for me to text him this. It's like, just please don't pour fuel on the fire and say something that makes no sense. And we went through the scenarios of that. I mean, I cannot read another person saying this, oh, the offense, whatever. The offensive line, the pass protection looked good. The run blocking was left a lot to be desired.
100%.
And I don't want to just keep saying it. We did not have the football. How are you supposed to score points if you don't have the football?
We also are averaging a point a minute for possession. So if you get 28 to 32 minutes per game possession, you actually score 28 to 32 points. And even it's a garbage time point at the end of the game. I get it. But
and Matt, even the turnover, the guy batted the ball down and somehow went up and he picked it off. And then the fourth down play was probably a first down twice or whatever. You missed by a fluky half an inch and it was like weird stuff. It's not like they were not moving the ball. It felt good. Rodgers felt in control. You have all these playmakers. We didn't even get to see Mike Williams do anything. because he's on a pitch count. The offensive line is going to have more time to gel. I just want to see more of it. I want to see more plays, more of this. And we're finally, hopefully, in a game against Will Levis and the stupid Titans next week, we're going to see more complimentary football. Hopefully, the offense can sustain some drives early. Like you said, Matt, they knock the rust off. Get the offensive line gelling. 3 new guys, haven't played together, no preseason, whatever. And then you have the Rodgers quote before the game where he says jokingly, "Oh, if we win, we're going to the Super Bowl. If we lose, same old Jets." And then everyone just does it. Like, what are we doing? Everyone is so reactionary to everything in the world, and it bothers me to no end. Not just with sports, but especially with sports.
Yeah, and we were talking to Connor a bit last night, and rightfully so. Him, Zach Rosenblatt, that had the same tweet. Antoine, who had like a less of a tweet where it's more cordial back and forth, like, "Hey, I don't know if like the offense was really the problem." The replies to Zach and Connor were, I can't say them over the airway, but basically, are you slow in your thought process for this game? Like, there's some very over the top replies, but you're right. It is very frustrating to. And that's why we made our Twitter accounts, to be honest. And that's why we like having a YouTube 100%. Show. We want to actually share opinions from more rational, not the clickbait headlines or the tweet that's going to get the most like, even though I tweeted that the 49ers running back last night was new leader of ISIS. It doesn't matter. But I want to take a step back to drive one because we get the ball. And Mike heard me all day. Can we just run it like 5 straight times and like get past play 4, even though that was a dumb question the beat writers kept asking Saleh? And you actually could tell. I mean, I thought the first 2 drives, Rodgers was very almost not shaky, but
he didn't want to get hit.
It was like a lack of confidence that you never see from a guy of Aaron Rodgers' caliber. And I'm telling you, the back shoulder fade, the slot fade to Garrett Wilson, opened everything up. That drive obviously continued to be a touchdown, but everything that came out was either on the money or even if it was like a half yard off, he protected his receiver going across the middle. He makes the hard count to bring the defense offside later on in the game. Breece Hall gets the rushing touchdown. Just, I can't say enough. Yeah, I wanted the Jets offense to do better. I wanted them to do better because they did have 2 turnovers, 1 fluky. They did have multiple punts, but yeah, we keep saying it. Didn't have the football. And Mike, the Jets defense, it wasn't that the refs bailed out the 49ers. The refs, even though the dumb Skycam review, the refs were perfectly fine last night. If anything leaned for the Jets, because the 49ers that one drive got murdered with penalties.
Yeah.
The Jets defense 100% did it to themselves. They weren't tough enough. They didn't have the pedigree. They're not the same caliber as the 49ers front. And here's the only thing, Mike, I need to get your take on it. Robert Saleh and the post-game press conference and the press conference this morning, it really feels as if he went into that game saying, it's okay if we lose. Let's just get the rust off. It's a tough team. We're probably not there yet. It was like, yeah, they beat us. He wasn't critical of the team at all, which he isn't the guy to do that. But Mike, you almost feel like they kind of expected to lose the game. And you're a 4-point dog. You're not a 14-point underdog, Mike.
I mean, he clearly didn't go their way. I don't know. The thing with Saleh is at this point, he just has to win games, and no matter what he says, it doesn't matter. That's just it. He could say anything, and it doesn't matter. They just have to win games. This is it. So, like, what is he going to say?
I hate the whole thing.
I know he can be more fiery.
I'm not asking to throw the podium down, but like having they beat us. They've been together for 8 years. You've had your defense for 4 years. It's not an excuse when you do great. It just some of the things he says bothers me, and then the coach speak it drives me up a wall. But I get it. I'd rather a coach speak nonsense than say a dumb headline every once in a while. But he definitely could have said we were outclassed. Our defense wasn't good enough yesterday. It will not happen again. We will not give up 8 straight scores again in this franchise. I won't let that happen. Yeah. And I just want a little bit more than they're a really good team, and they've been together for a while, and that's a tough team to beat on the road. And
yeah, that's lame.
It's lame. And like the Rams every year rest their starters. half the teams in the NFL don't play their stars in the preseason. And Jason Over the Cap, who is a Jet fan, but also I feel like hates the Jets, he had a dumb tweet last night that the Jets patted themselves in the back for resting their starters. Every team does that. And it's never an excuse if you play good or bad, because guess what? The Rams every year come out firing and their starters never play it down. So again, a ridiculous narrative. I think that's somehow forming.
It's definitely frustrating, and this is part of it. Look, with the Jets having the place in 13 years, people are irritated. Everything's gonna be magnified. I saw some stats. The Packers lost like 38-3 in 2021, their first week, and won 13-3. Tom Brady got smoked in his first game with the Bucs against the Saints in a similar score. I think it was like 34-23. It just is not. None of this. It doesn't matter until we just win football games. But the good news, Matt, is that the next 3 games are against the Titans, the Patriots, and the Broncos, who all have terrible quarterbacks, who have mediocre rosters, who the Jets are going to be favored in all those games. And, you know, if we're 2-1, 3-1, we're just going to be feeling so good. We're going to be feeling great. We're going to have all these great things that we've seen, and it's going to, things change quickly in the NFL. And one more note, Matt, about what we were just talking about before Salah, that drive, dude, the first touchdown drive.
It was
I rather watch that, or like that was way more fun than sleeping with any woman in the world. 100%. Like I wouldn't like Sydney Sweeney or that drive for the first time. I don't know. Maybe if the Jets won the game, I would take it. It's very close. What a time. What an unbelievable. Pure excitement.
You should put a poll up on Twitter.
Then everyone's going to say they just lost. But pure excitement.
Do we have the COVID test results back?
I think it's negative. There's nothing going on. I don't know if I administered this correctly.
I'm dapping up Mike all game, hugging him. Halftime, his dad goes, "Oh, how you feeling? You feeling?" He's not feeling great. I was like, "What do you mean he's not feeling great?" Where did you go during halftime?
I went upstairs. I just had to use the restroom, and I was watching some of the Mets. Okay. Well, the Mets game was ending. That's when Diaz almost let up a walk-off homer, but it did not go out. The Mets are on right now, 2 big games.
I'm trying to think of what else happened. Drew from Jersey had a great tweet, the Breece Hall Madden photo.
Oh, what, he put the old one?
The one he looks like nothing like Breece Hall in it. It's like Breece Hall last night.
Like, I don't know. Everyone looked kind of a little slow. I don't know what it was. They're just, I want to see more. I just want to see more. But, man, again, if you told me that Rodgers would look like he did, where I'm confident, 3rd and 8, Rodgers moving guys around, a little bit of this, some audibles, great 19, blue 58, fucking beautiful rope to Garrett Wilson over the middle. That's what we needed to see. The defense is going to, again, last year, week 2 is the Cowboys game. You get obliterated. They got manhandled in a very similar fashion, and they had one of the best defensive seasons in franchise history after that. So I'm not ready to give up on the defense, not that we are. And there's still a chance that we have one of the best defenses in football plus this maniac quarterback. If people thought that the Jets were going to win 11 or 12 games, 13 games before this game, and you change your opinion, I'm curious about it, because you just could lose that game.
Yeah.
You don't want to get beat up on the line. I get it, but
I have a few notes before we wrap up.
Yeah.
The Sauce Gardner not playing for 5 plays in a row, and then ESPN saying, the doctor said he's perfectly fine. And then the Jets beat writers again on Twitter. This is a very bizarre situation unfolding.
He got the wind knocked out of him.
He clearly got the wind knocked out of him.
What are we doing?
Maybe the team doctor could have been more informing ESPN. He got shaken up on that play. He's good, no concussion. They basically almost said he was a healthy scratch and that he wasn't going to.
Joe Buck's like, I don't understand. Then they go and interview 90, or they go show 98 of the San Francisco 49ers assistant coaches the whole game.
That was bizarre.
Insane.
The other note.
Joe Buck is annoying, dude.
The very, very annoying moment is Debo almost fumbled that ball through the end zone.
Oh, Quincy hit it right with his
How does
helmet.
how does he not let go of that ball? And
Matt,
again,
another
Fred
annoying
Warner-
moment.
Yeah, go.
The 53-yard field goal that doinks in. I've never seen maybe from 28 yards. 53 yards hits the upright and goes in. Come on. And that would have set the Jets up. It would have been 23-7, and the Jets scored a touchdown on that drive. Then it's a 2-possession game if you get the 2 point.
Another note. When you're down by what was the final? 32-19?
Yeah.
You score with 28 seconds left. Robert Saleh has won 2 games in his career when they had a 99.9% chance to lose the game.
Kick
The
onside
Giants
kick.
and the Browns game. And there's probably one other game that was insane. I'm forgetting.
Those are the 2 really insane ones.
So why not just do an onside kick? Like,
Just do it.
and you probably have 4 or 5 different onside kick plays. Do the 5th one. Do the one that you're not going to use again. And Mike, what if you get the first one? Then it's almost like you just you just had a punt, and you could just score a touchdown on that drive, and then have an onside kick to win the game. It's very bizarre to not do that. And yeah, the game's over, but we've won 2 like that.
You might as well. I guess I don't know. You're gonna get onside kick touchdown in 28 seconds but why not just do it, right? If you have a non-0% chance, you might as well do it. Oh man, but man, Rodgers looked good. I really thought he did. I feel so confident in him.
I'm ready to go. It's gonna be good.
I'm so excited for next week. Man, we're going to see those guys run around again. Like Garrett's going to catch some passes. Brees going to get a handoff, dude. Come on.
I'm ready to go. All right. I got to go eat dinner. I haven't eaten yet.
All right. Good stuff, dude.
Have a good video. If you made it this far, subscribe. If you made it this far, always DM Mike and I. We will follow back anybody who is a proud supporter of the Broadway Jets podcast. We'll be back again Sunday night to recap the Titans game, which will be
I'll be flying back from Nashville, so maybe Monday.
Wow. I forgot you're
going to the game. Come on.
Wow. All right. Have a good night, buddy.
All right. Jet up.